I'm inclusive of all things thrown at me, as long as it's done out of love. I think the most pressing issue facing the community is still fighting for that acceptance. And I think we're still resisting, we're still pushing forward, we're still getting people to know that it's okay to be gay, it's okay to be trans, it's okay to transition with your lover, it's okay to marry your lover. I think in 5 years we'll probably have, because the generation is shifting, so I think within 5 to 10 years, it'll be okay to walk in the street with your gay or trans lover and it'll be normal. I think it'll be a little more normalized. But I mean, I still think we're still trying to get people to understand that it's not a sickness, it's just who we are, if that makes sense. I'm still trying to figure out too, why is it that it's mostly the trans women of color that are being murdered and singled out? That's really, it's disturbing for me. I don't understand why it's happening. And what can we do to help? I remember saying to Chris one day, I don't understand, Chris said just one voice makes history, one voice helps lead other voices into making the army of resistant fighters, and people understand and to be clear on what's happening, you know, in our world, in the LGBTQIA world. I'm still trying to add on letters and alphabets, and it's still confusing to me sometimes, but girl, we running out. We running out of letters. We have to respect young, black, white, green, gay, straight, trans, lesbian, in the middle, cis, non-cis, whatever it is we need to support them. And it's about having human rights, which I think it's transhuman, gays are human under one umbrella. But one person said to me the speech I was doing in the south of France at Sciences Po, Ms. J, if you say human rights, it still signals us out in the gay community, but I don't think so. So I'm going to say it's all inclusive. That gay rights, trans rights, lesbian rights, I think it's important that we all just support it and be a little more aware and sensitive. No, that's okay. Thank you. Sorry. Not really. I'm just, like I said, baby, I'm all over the place with labels. I mean, I think growing up, like I was told by someone recently, he didn't like the fact that I identified him as gay and I should identify him as queer. And I'm thinking, but queer seems like such a really weird, spooky word. But I think if you're a certain age, you're using queer as a way to identify. Girl, get boy. See me talking with that damn microphone going, you hear me over here. Get that damn walkie-talkie off. Say the answer was saying. Back to the question at hand. I use all labels. As long as they're not done in a derogatory way, I'm good. Drag queen, tranny, cross-dresser, tragic tranny, fag, homo. I believe you kisses, baby. But the one thing you can't do with Miss J, you can't touch me. Because one thing they don't know about Miss J likes to fight. And I will whip your ass. Let's be very clear. Oh, it's that South Bronx thing. My mother, all 5'4", for we say, if a motherfucker hits you, hit him back. And baby, so far, I'm okay. So I've never been beaten up because I was gay. I've never had any sort of abuse. And very rarely I'm called punk, faggot, homo, very, very rarely. I mean, really, very rarely. And I have the first copy of the autographed Bible, so I'm that old. So I think I'm pretty good. The generation behind me, behind us, gives me more hope. Because they really are coming in full force, like no other. They're marching, they're protesting, they're making it clear on what their pronouns should and should not be. The whole inclusivity of the world in which they're growing up in, you know, being fluid. And being supportive on all ends of the spectrum. I think that's what's important. So that gives me hope that 50 years later at Stonewall, we have a whole generation that's going to carry on for another 50 years, if not more. But hopefully it'll be a much more open and lenient way, to deal with things, to actually have a conversation. I think it's important to have a conversation about what's going on in the world instead of being so anti and no. if it makes sense. Like my old boss said to me once before, you appear to be smarter by asking questions than not asking them at all. My grandmother said, be respectful of people, young, black, white, green, blue, and purple, because manners will carry you where money cannot. Imelda Marcos taught me something at dinner one night. Yes, I said Imelda Marcos. She said to me, you have to understand you take the out of a room when you enter a room. I thought, really? She said, yeah, because it's just your personality and who you are. She said, people like you have to be very, very careful because it's hard to be hated or harder to be envied. From the mouth of all people, Imelda Marcos. Being me. Just living my life. Just being me. And it didn't take television for that to happen. I've been that way from the very beginning. So what you see on television, you see, it can be a little bit dirtier, but other than that, I'm trying to keep it clean.